everybody, welcome to your 4 to 5. It's that time of the day. Eric Chilton, Chad Silver, Lauren Coleman.
Hey,
Jalen Gilkey will be along in a minute.
He'll be here in a second. We want to thank you for watching us on News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the News 2 app.
Coming up this half hour, so they came out with a list of top singers of all time, and you're saying they caused some controversy.
Yeah, it's top 200, and there are a couple people that aren't on the list that you would. I was shocked at one.
I was shocked at one as well. I'm excited to talk about that story.
It's going to be neat.
But first, we want to get on top of a large story that we've been covering, a large structure fire in Davidson County. Fire crews responded to this building in Thomasville early this morning.
And no one has been hurt in the fire, but after hours of work, firefighters really kind of keeping an eye on it. WFMY News 2's Amber Lake is there with new information. Hey, Amber.
This building on Salem Street in Thomasville still has smoke rolling off the top of it. Crews just left a couple hours ago after spending nearly 6 hours fighting this fire. They'll be on high alert for any hot spots throughout tomorrow. Firefighters were called out around 7 this morning. Thankfully, this building again had no occupants inside, but it used to be used as a trucking facility. Agencies from multiple areas in Davidson and Randolph County came out to help with water haul. Thomasville Fire Chief Jason Myers tells us the city usually has 2 large structure fires like this a year, so it's important to prepare for them.
So we actually do this type of training with our mutual aid and automatic aid agencies. We have those agreements in place across counties and across the entire county as far as getting them to come and respond in with us and assist us. In turn, we provide a ladder truck or a rescue truck out into the county, reciprocating that information, or not the information, but the personnel.
Now again, this was a joint effort today. We had multiple agencies on scene. We had Thomasville Public Works, Thomasville PD, not to mention the almost a dozen multiple agencies here fighting this fire. Now ahead at 5 o'clock, we were able to speak to the city about how they get involved in situations like this.
Amber, thank you. The Greensboro Fire Department will be doing more live training tomorrow. They're running drills at a real house fire from 8 to 5 at a house on Arlington Street, basically downtown. This is from a recent fire a couple weeks ago. The exercise allows firefighters to practice extinguishment, ventilation, and search techniques. You might see lots of smoke, but the department says it is not dangerous.
They need to know we're here for them, we're thinking of them, our prayers are with him and the Hamlin family, and we want to do everything we can to make sure that they know that, and we are here to support them.
We love you, we care for you, what a good human we've all learned that you are, and we're praying for you every day.
Right now, fans are leaving signs of support outside of the Ohio hospital where Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin is recovering.
Hamlin is still in critical condition after a cardiac arrest Monday night during the Bills-Bengals game. Hamlin tackled a player, then collapsed seconds later.
Family says Hamlin's health is improving, though he is still on a ventilator. They say he now only needs 50% of oxygen from the device, where at first it was 100%.
The sight of Hamlin's collapsing on the field shocked people across the country who were watching it live on TV. It's got a lot of people talking about heart health and sports. WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey spoke to an expert to help offset some of those fears.
Yeah, Chad, cardiac events are terrifying no matter who they happen to or where they occur. But when it happens to a relatively healthy child or a young athlete, things get even scarier. Monday night, 24-year-old Damar Hamlin collapsed due to a cardiac event during the Bills versus Bengals game. Now, since then, many parents have expressed their concern allowing their kids to participate in both contact and non-contact sports. However, Dr. Chris Miles from Wake Forest University School of Medicine says that shouldn't be the case. While we don't exactly know what happened to Hamlin, Dr. Miles says the chance of any contact leading to a heart issue is rare.
And then the condition that people have been speaking about with this current situation is something called commotio cordis, where there's a blow, a trauma to the anterior chest wall just at the right moment of the heart electrical cycle, which leads to this abnormal rhythm. That happens in about 20 cases a year in all sports.
Dr. Miles tells us that the majority of cardiac episodes that we see in pediatric population or the competitive athlete population occur due to pre-existing genetic conditions. Now, he wants parents at home to understand the chances your child is affected by an event like this are very slim.
Worldwide, maybe about 20 cases are reported that lead to death in a year's time. So incredibly rare for that particular condition. Like, you have a better chance of winning the lottery than you do of having something like this happen.
Dr. Miles went on to say that the most important thing that we can learn from a tragedy like this on Monday night is the importance of having trained people on site in CPR, as well as functioning automated external defibrillators.
I mean, they saved his life.
Absolutely.
That's the bottom line. They saved Damar's life. This to me is a no-brainer now. You need those at high school games. We've seen this happen at high school arena. You need them everywhere.
In addition to the training, I'm glad you're
Yes.
doing a story like this, because with contact sports, we've been talking about concussions and all these other things. This is another layer that parents might be like, hey, I don't want my child to play this, but with him saying 20 cases worldwide, that really shows just how slim it can be. And then also, there's still so much we don't know about Hamlin's case. A lot of it is speculation. So it's good that we're getting this information out there so people don't jump to conclusions.
I mean, parents are worried enough about their kids
more than
doing
enough
all
to
sorts
worry.
of things,
Absolutely.
right? I mean, I think it's so important that we put this into perspective.
And I was just glad that Dr. Miles was able to assist us in achieving our goal. You know, just getting the information out there to parents to try to ease some folks' minds, because this is a very turbulent time, and there's a lot of information coming at people really fast. So if the more that we can get out there to kind of calm folks down, I feel like the better we're doing.
It's true.
Good job.
Thanks, Jalen. All right, we're keeping our eye closely on Damar Hamlin's health condition. You can find the latest information on WFMYnews2.com.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Law enforcement wants you to watch out for card skimmers. That's when thieves hide credit card readers on places where people frequent often. Think about gas pumps, busy retail stores, or even ATM machines. Those are also places scammers like to target.
If you're out shopping, it is recommended, especially like at gas stations and things, that you use a credit card versus a debit card. That's because debit card, immediately they have access directly into your account, and they can drain your account for whatever you have in your account.
The best way not to fall victim is to check your bank and credit card statements often. The Better Business Bureau recommends checking your accounts daily. While at the pump, experts also recommend paying inside instead of at the pump. Burlington police say there was an armed robbery at the refuel gas station on North Church Street. Officers say the robbers showed a gun and demanded money from the cashier yesterday morning. They described the man as wearing a camouflage ski mask, a camo shirt, and dark pants with a red stripe. This is an ongoing investigation. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers or the Burlington Police Department. The college scandal mastermind Rick Singer was sentenced today for 3.5 years in federal prison. Prosecutors were seeking a 6-year sentence. Singer helped officials secure convictions for multiple wealthy parents involved in his college admissions scheme. He helped them unfairly get their children into top-tier schools. Officials say the mastermind Singer took in $25 million in bribes. He secretly cooperated with the FBI, leading to the arrest of dozens of parents and athletic coaches in 2019.
All right, well, we can all breathe a sigh of relief now, and we were talking about this last night, really for the last couple of days. The chance of maybe an isolated severe thunderstorm here or there. We had some thunderstorms. We saw the lightning strikes. In fact, check out Christian Morgan's Facebook page. He's got a post there, a lightning strike that hit a truck, and then it turned the lights on the truck. It was insane. But that moved through pretty quickly today. Tornado risk gone now, and we're seeing all of this push to the east. Let's go out to a wider shot so you can see. Yeah, there it goes, toward the coastal sections. We had some tornado watches to our south and some warnings too down in the southern states, the deep south really, but none for us, and that moves on. Now we might see winds get a little bit breezy in the next 12 hours or so as a result of being on the backside of this front, but front moves by. High pressure moves in. Decent conditions. We'll still be mild tomorrow because of our wind flow, but things will start to change for us on Friday. In fact, we could see about a 12-degree drop in high temperatures from Thursday to Friday. So even though it will feel like we're in a cold snap, not true. We're actually back to normal by Friday and through the weekend too. We're right where we should be. Believe it or not, our normal high should be in the upper 40s right now. There's that high pressure as it moves over into place. We're going into Friday now. You can see some of that. Eventually this will pull in some of that cooler air for us. And the next rain chance is Sunday, but it's very, very slim as we see only about a 20% chance of a shower. Then here's your 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, mostly sunny sunny, a few clouds here or there, 62, that's not bad. Then sunshine and 50 on Friday. We're in the upper 40s for your weekend. Again, that's normal, 49. For Saturday and Sunday, partly cloudy. There's that rain chance Sunday, a 40% chance. That should clear out for Monday, and we're in the low 50s then, 52 and 53 for Monday, Tuesday. Partly cloudy to variably cloudy on Monday, and then scattered clouds Tuesday. Wednesday, a second system moves by. That's another rain chance. We hold at 50 with a 30% chance of a shower. Well, it's time for one of my favorite segments, Useless Trivia again. So the last time we did this, somebody in our 4 to 5 Facebook live stream, they asked for sports trivia because I was looking for some new topics there. So we did some digging and take a look. All right, let's get this sports trivia rolling. Talking baseball right now. This is a great trivia thing to ask your friends. There are only 2 days of the year. Out of the 365 days a year, only 2 with no major league sports. That is the day before and the day after the MLB All-Star break. Who knew? How about this one? Pittsburgh, the only city where all the major sports teams have the same colors, black and gold. Think about it. Steelers, Pirates, Penguins. Hey, down here. Did you know Major League Baseball umpires have to wear black underwear during games in case they rip their pants? See? Here's one, I don't even know the reason why, but it kind of shocked me, that the average lifespan of an MLB baseball used in games is only 5 to 7 pitches. I don't get it. Whoa. There you go, folks. Weird sports trivia. As we like to say, it'll do nothing for you in life, but hey, you'll be fun at parties.
Might do something for you in life. You might make it to Jeopardy or something.
So it's true. You never know. That's true. So Chad knew one of them.
Yeah. So you had said that there were 2 days when there are no sports played, and I knew
professional sports.
Yeah. So I knew that it was either the day before or day after the MLB All-Star game. I didn't know there were 2 of them.
And see, I'm not a baseball guy, so I didn't know that. In fact, most of that I didn't know. I did think it was funny when I was reading this online. That was CBS News that had this, by the way. They said, the umpires wear black underwear, and at first I went, what is that all about?
Right.
Because they're squatting all the time, and if they split their pants, you can't see it.
You can't tell. That's a good point there. About the baseballs, when you said they only get 5 to 7 pitches, that kind of makes sense, because maybe like the ball gets worn out over time because they're hitting it so hard. So maybe if it's a ball that's been used 20 times, maybe it's not as effective as a ball that's been hit 5 times.
And you know, you think about the way they throw a ball and the aerodynamics, how they can spin it and do a curveball and all that. That needs to be the ball, like no dents, dings, pings in it. So I guess that's why.
Speaking of frequency of usage, I had heard at one point that during the Super Bowl, they only use a ball for like one play.
Wow.
Oh, wow, I have
Like,
to look that
like
up.
they always change it. Now, it could be an old wives' tale. I could be wrong, but I've heard that. So
That could be some truth, because weren't you saying
Yes.
earlier that you heard at NFL games there's about 25 balls on the sideline?
That was one of the trivia questions I didn't use. 36, I think, was the number of balls at every NFL game.
Wow.
What I want to look up, I can't remember. There is a fine, I think, and maybe our director Brad would know this, but I think there's a fine for every time they give a ball to someone in the stands.
There is, because
think-
we've
did
done
you
that
look it up?
story before, because it was somebody on the Panthers that kept throwing, Cam Newton, that kept throwing balls, and he was getting fined, but we were like, to make a kid smile, that's just a couple $1,000s.
Right.
I don't know what the fine is, but I think it was something like 5,000 to 10,000.
Yeah.
But for them, they're like, man, you know.
right.
Chump change.
Anyway, all right, we'll take a break. We're coming back. Mild weather continues for about another 24 hours after Thursday, our Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a reality check, and we're within probably 2 or 3 degrees of normal once we get to Friday, all the way through the majority of next week, actually. So good news, even though it will feel like a cold snap to you, because we've seen temperatures like this. Look at this, 61. You can see that in Greensboro, 63, Winston-Salem, 62. I mean, it basically all day we've just kind of hovered in those lower 60s. Think we kind of stay there tomorrow as well. Cloud cover will be a little bit stubborn to leave, but eventually it will. Even Thursday, we're looking at a partly to very cloudy sky and high temperature still remaining in the 60s. Let's take a look at this hour by hour. Again, once we get some breaks in the clouds, which will happen as we head to the overnight hours, then that temperature starts to drop a little bit. That blanket of clouds kind of holds in the heat that we've absorbed from the sun all day. at a nighttime sky. But if we get that break and let it out there, then we'll drop down. And notice we kind of hover right in the low 60s there for much of the evening. But once we get to that late night time period, maybe midnight, and we get the breaks in the clouds, then it starts to drop back down, and we'll see some decent overnight lows. The satellite and radar combination, heavy cloud cover moving on to the east. And we'll go out to a wide shot. You can see the majority of the rain that amounts to anything is now coastal plain basically area, and some in the Sandhills region of North Carolina. Down to the south, it was rough today. There were tornado watches and warnings going on anywhere from Georgia, parts of South Carolina too, and yesterday in Alabama, Mississippi. So better conditions back behind this as we kind of go back to normal. There's the front. It moves by. High pressure will start to slip in a little bit, but still mild. We're between two systems, right? So we kind of hold in the low 60s for your Thursday. On Friday, though, when everything starts to shift, the cooler air moves down from the north and that high kind of recedes a little bit, moves away. We will see that cooler air move in and highs stay between about 49 and say 50 to 52 degrees for the next several days, matter of fact. All right, so tonight recapping that overnight low in the mid 40s, and we'll drop quickly toward the morning hours because that's when we get breaks in the clouds. 62, partly sunny tomorrow, still warm, and then the long range, yep, back to normal. 50 on Friday with sunshine, partly cloudy for Saturday, 49, holding the upper 40s for Sunday, but some rain on the way then, folks, 40% chance. 52 and 53 Monday, Tuesday, variably cloudy again, and another system with a slight rain chance, 30% by Wednesday of next week, and a high of 50. All right, get this. A new Rolling Stone magazine list. This is causing a big commotion online. It compiled a list of what they say are the 200 greatest singers of all time, featuring names like Erykah Badu, Donna Summer, and Bono. One artist that did not make the list, top 200, Celine Dion. And boy, did her fans let people have it on Twitter. Regardless of whether you're a fan of Celine's or not, we wanted to know who you think the greatest singer of all time is to you. Here's what you had to say on my Facebook page. Beth said Elton John. He's so talented. Music and songs haven't really faded over time. Pamela Burt Shiflett said Steve Perry. I can agree with that. She said that voice made my heart melt. Yeah, he was with Journey. Shannon Miller says Reba McEntire. Been a fanatic fan since 8th grade. Loved her voice, beauty, humor, acting, singing, and just about everything. She is a queen. And then Christine says, Josh Groban, so talented, what an amazing voice. Seen him in concert 8 or 9 times, and most recently here at the Tanger Center in Greensboro. Dale said Carrie Underwood, have worked directly with her at the Greensboro Coliseum. She is such an amazing woman, has such a beautiful voice. Love her. Those are all big names.
Those are. I'm so shocked that Celine Dion
I am too.
was not on that list. She has a power. She's a powerhouse.
Powerful. And the fact that it's 200 singers, that's what I was
Yeah.
It's not like the top 50.
Right.
Or even, I mean, who's number 200? We probably never even heard of them.
Some
seen the list.
underground
Do you know who the
artists.
top ones are?
I haven't
I
looked
gotta
at
look
it, but
up.
I'm going to look now to know that
Well,
Celine is
now
not
I'm just
on
gonna
there.
look.
I would say my favorite singer of all time, and I've talked about this in the newsroom, would have to be Brandy. I think that she's so underrated, and she's been dubbed the vocal Bible in the past because her runs and her ad-libs, they're just so beautiful and fluid. And she was just recently in a show on ABC called Queens, and her cover of Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus is so beautiful.
Really?
It has the piano in it. I've listened to it about 200 times. I'm lip singing it in the car, but I think Brandy is great. I hope she gets her flowers while she's around because she's amazing.
She must be underrated because I would have never, I don't know, I guess.
But her voice is beautiful. She has such a unique voice. I can't think of any other singers that sound like her.
Did you find it yet, Jay?
I found it, and they put number 1 last.
Oh,
So I
so
have
you
to
had
go
to
through
scroll
the-
all the way
Oh,
to the
okay.
bottom.
The whole darn
I'm
article.
curious if they're going to go really old school with the greatest singers, or is it? I'm sure it's a mix.
It's a mix. I could see more old school people being on there because their catalogs are a lot larger.
Oh, I'm never gonna get to it because I have to scroll through
So
all these
who's on-
pages.
what have
so
you
like the
seen?
number 200, Rosalia, 199, Glenn Danzig from the
Do you
Misfits.
guys know who those people are?
Billie Eilish.
Okay.
Burna Boy. No idea.
Oh, he's great. I
Paul
like his
Westerberg
songs.
from The
Yeah,
Replacements.
Paul Westerberg, yeah.
I mean, some of the I've never heard of them, but it's all time, so I suppose
Yeah,
it's way
because
before my time. But
Billie Eilish and Burna Boy are
Kelly
on there.
Clarkson,
They're fairly.
number
Oh, she's
194.
great. Kelly Clarkson was
Oh,
the
there's
most
Brandy.
successful
Brandy's 193.
American Idol. Oh, she's 193.
Yeah, she made the list.
She should
Anyway,
be higher,
I
in my opinion.
I like Adele. We'll add her to
Oh,
the list too.
yes,
Absolutely.
Queen.
We'll be back.
Hey, mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5, everybody. Eric, Chad, and Lauren. Amanda Ferguson coming along in a moment.
Hey, girl.
She's over there.
How are y'all feeling on this hump day?
So we're officially halfway through the week, right?
Yes.
Because we're halfway through our show.
Yeah, right? True.
On the day that we're halfway through the week.
Yes.
Perfect.
I saw a meme on Facebook that says it's always hard for me the 5 days after the weekend. You get it?
5 days, all the days, all the work days.
Coming up this half hour, it's kind of New Year's Eve related, or I guess New Year's related. What would be something that would be hard for you to give up?
Oh,
in
that's
New
a
Year's
good one.
resolution? So we're going to be talking about that this half hour.
Well, we start with the battle over who will become the next Speaker of the House. Here is a live look from the floor where support is dwindling for Republican leader Kevin McCarthy.
He failed to get enough votes again today, and now some lawmakers are suggesting he drop out of the running.
A speaker has not been elected.
The rebellion continued on the House floor, with far-right Republicans refusing again to rally around Kevin McCarthy for House Speaker, nominating Florida's Byron Donalds instead.
This country needs a change. This country needs leadership that does not reflect this city.
Wednesday afternoon, McCarthy still couldn't reach the necessary 218 votes, with a group of conservative lawmakers holding out against business as usual.
We're going to continue to talk and we'll find an agreement where we all get together and we'll work through this and we'll get it done.
Former President Donald Trump urged Republicans to vote for McCarthy, posting, "Kevin McCarthy will do a good job and maybe even a great job." The stalemate here brings all other work to a standstill. The House needs a speaker in order to swear in members and begin legislative business. President Biden said the congressional skirmish is not a good look.
I just think it's a little embarrassing it's taking so long in the way they're dealing with one another. And the rest of the world's looking.
Democrats were united in nominating their party leader, New York's Hakeem Jeffries, and quick to point out the contrast with their feuding colleagues.
What we saw was the true character of the modern day Republican Party, obsessed with power and their own personal advancement.
This is very sad for our country, and hopefully it will be resolved today.
Friday marks 2 years since the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol, a day that showed the deadly consequences of the nation's divisions. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, Washington.
Dig Into as Ben Briscoe dives deeper into the fight and why lawmakers can't seem to get on the same page, coming up at 5:30. In the meantime, one North Carolina House representative is seeking a new role. Republican John Hardesser announced his candidacy for North Carolina Labor Commissioner today. The position oversees workplace conditions and enforces labor laws, but you may know it as the name that appears in the elevators. Josh Dobson has the job now, but isn't interested in re-election. Hardesser is currently in the Guilford County General Assembly. His term ends next year.
Fans are leaving signs of support outside the Ohio hospital where Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin is recovering today. He is still in critical condition after going into cardiac arrest Monday night. It happened during the game against the Bengals. Hamlin tackled a player, then collapsed seconds later. Family says Hamlin's health is improving, though he is still on a ventilator, but he has improved from needing oxygen 100% of the time now to just 50%. Teams across the NFL are showing their support, including the Carolina Panthers. WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson heard from interim coach Steve Wilks today.
The Carolina Panthers back at practice, which means it's the first time we're hearing from the team since Damar Hamlin's collapse on the field. Interim head coach Steve Wilks, of course, talking about it. He says he was at work late Monday night, didn't happen to see it. His assistant told him about it, and when he got home, his wife filled him in.
Just to see at that point in time the facial expressions on the players on the field, to see what was going on with, Coach McDermott and just trying to go through the process. It was definitely touching, and it makes you understand and realize how precious life is. We love this game that we play and coach, but nothing's more precious than life itself.
Says the team held a prayer for Hamlin and his family this morning before practice. The Panthers meet up with the Saints Sunday afternoon for the final game of the season. Wilkes was asked if he feels like his team will be ready. He says he's going to do everything he can to make sure they're prepared, especially mentally.
I would imagine that would be the hardest part, is
Right.
mentally. Sure. I mean, you see the last play that everybody saw of any football game was that one. Yep. And so you've got to continue on. And fortunately, you know, the story that Jalen did earlier was putting it into perspective that this is so rare, and that you shouldn't expect it to happen again.
No changes to Week 18 schedule, so all the games this week are going to be on as usual.
You know, that has to weigh in a player's mind, though. Like,
course.
if they just saw that, even though it's super rare, I wonder if that'll affect play with some people going, should I back it down a little bit? Or, you know, I don't know. We'll see.
It might just do that. I just remember watching the playback of him getting hit and then falling, just the tears and how shaken up everybody was. So you never know, it could impact that.
It was watching the Buffalo Bills players' faces that got me, because we couldn't see exactly what was going on, but to see their reaction, you knew how, I mean, they were in such pain and
tears
and traumatized at probably what they saw, you know. So that sticks in your head.
Yeah, and you know, these guys are all friends with each other too, so they talk about this stuff all the time. They talk about life, and to see that happen to your friend, it's pretty tough.
The whole sport's pulling together for this, though. I love it.
I'll be interested to see how some of the different NFL teams will pay tribute or honor.
Wilkes mentioned he heard chatter about what the team wants to do. The players have decided, or have been talking about it. He doesn't know anything specific, but he did say there's been some chatter that they want to do something.
Maybe they'll all have a number 3 patch on.
Or maybe something on their helmet, like a sticker.
Yes, that would work too. All right, we'll wait and see. Let's talk about our forecast and see what's going on with that. We've got some changes coming up, not until Friday, but still, we'll get there. Mild conditions continue for today. Cloud cover, of course, held the temperature down a little bit, but we're seeing still very mild conditions. You know, we were calling for upper 60s. We made it up so far to about 61, but still, Elizabeth City 68, Wilmington 66, even Roanoke to the north at 66 degrees right now. 45 should be our overnight low tonight. Obviously, we hit that in the early morning hours. Winds a little bit breezy, west 10 to 20. Not the end of the world there, but just a couple of little increase. Tomorrow, though, partly sunny, still warm, 62. Again, way above our normal high of 49 degrees. That's where we should be this time of the year. All of this exits onto the east. Let's go out to this wide shot, and you see from Jacksonville, Florida, all the way up the coastline. Now the rain in our neck of the woods is moving offshore as this front clears the area. Here's what it looks like on the surface chart with that front and the passage of that front today. Now we wait for some high pressure to build in. Now you see we're between two systems here, so it's still a little bit unsettled. We'll still throw in some clouds tomorrow. You'll see sunshine, but we'll see a mix of sun and clouds probably. And I would think getting clearer as we go through Thursday and into Thursday night, definitely into Friday. It's a much better situation there as high pressure moves into place. Now, cooler air does come down from that low in the north, and then if you kind of cycle the winds counterclockwise around that low, clockwise around the high, that means we'll probably get kind of a northwest to westerly flow, and that'll pull down a little bit more of that cool air. It takes us back to where we should be for this time of the year, which sounds cold, but upper 40s. I mean, think about this. Our low tonight, 45, that's 4 degrees off what our high temperature should be this time of the year. Tomorrow we'll stick with that low 60s as we talked about, 62. Here's your 7-day forecast. Big drop from Thursday to Friday. We go from 62 down to 50. Look for kind of a partly cloudy sky basically Thursday and Friday. Friday 50, then 49 for Saturday and Sunday. Saturday variably cloudy. Sunday a chance of rain with another system moving by. That's a 40% chance. And then clearing out, warm up a little bit. Monday, Tuesday 52, 53. Mostly cloudy Monday, partly cloudy Tuesday. Slight rain chance Wednesday and a high of 50.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration will now allow certified pharmacies to dispense abortion pills to people who have prescription. Before, the drugs had to be ordered, prescribed, and dispensed directly and in person from a certified healthcare provider. Pharmacy chains CVS and Walgreens say they are currently reviewing the changes. A passenger whose flight was canceled by Southwest Airlines last month during its operational meltdown is now suing. The proposed class action suit was filed in a New Orleans federal court. It claims the airline failed to provide a refund for the plaintiff's canceled flight and instead offered a credit. Meanwhile, Southwest is giving passengers whose flights were canceled or delayed more than 3 hours between December 24th and January 2nd. 25,000 frequent flyer bonus points as a, quote, gesture of goodwill. Last month, the carrier had to cancel more than 15,000 flights. North Carolina organizations can now apply for free bike helmets. It's all a part of an annual program encouraging more children to wear helmets. Groups can apply online on the state DOT's website. The deadline is February 3rd.
Obviously, we love our state, and apparently a lot of other people do as well. A study from United Van Lines shows 61% of inbound migration was to North or South Carolina. The company says movers' ages range from baby boomers to Gen Xers. 31% said they moved to be closer to family. About the same said it was for a new job. Another company, U-Haul, says North Carolina was among the top states to welcome new residents. I believe it too.
Same.
I mean, I could probably name maybe the top 5 states that are probably what I imagine would be the best states to move to. North Carolina is definitely up there.
I think it's, so 2 things I think, mountains and beach within a drive, you know, like a half a day's drive easy. And then the other thing is because of where we're located right in the middle of the Atlantic coast, I think a lot of people, if you're DC or that, you can get to those big cities, Atlanta, DC are 5 hours away.
You picked all my major points, but I will say also the cost of living is much lower than if you live up north in DC or New York area. And I think also all the great jobs that we have coming to our area. I mean, look at the Triangle, all those tech jobs, a lot of people are coming to the area for that as well.
So this summer we stayed at a beach house that was on the beach, and I was asking the realtor about the person that rented it to us. So who owns this? And she said he's a retired pilot from California. With what they sold in California, his house, and I think they had one other home, like a vacation second home. They sold both of those and bought 5 rental homes in Oak Island. Yes.
Wow.
And 2 of them are oceanfront. And that's the difference in real estate from West Coast to us.
Absolutely. I mean, think about up north in New York, you're paying $1,500 for probably a shoebox, and you could come here and get a really nice size apartment.
It's amazing.
And
we're here.
The weather too, right?
Oh,
Not
the weather
bad.
is great. It's not, I feel like we get all the seasons.
We do.
So I like that.
Fall's awesome too. All right, we're coming right back.
Crazy looking. Hey, giving you a mic check. Ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together like a classic combination. That means the folklore says it should snow in 10 days. All right, so we know that this is not scientific, right? But everyone will be talking about this today for sure.
Not scientific. I'm just here to say.
I feel badly for all of my meteorologist friends who have social media accounts, because you know that you're hearing it.
And it's funny because every time a front goes through like this, a cold front, it's a cold front, so it's going to be cooler on the backside. And I think a lot of times if it happens to snow within a week or so, people go, up, see.
That's what it is, that's what it is.
It's luck, yeah.
But it's not that way.
No.
It is not that way. It is folklore, fake lore, something.
Fake lore.
Okay, so but let's go in this direction. Let's continue on with this thought of snow, shall we?
I like snow.
Just for fun. Okay, so if it was snowing today, and we got some rain today, if it was snowing today instead of raining, 1 inch of rain equals about 10 inches of snow, and that's like your average snow. If it was powdery snow, they say it would be like 13 to 15 inches of snow. So here's the question, friends. Do you want to build a snowman? Building a snowman in this Michigan town is more than just snow. The 40-foot snowman named Snow-Me is held together by hundreds of feet of wooden snow fencing.
He gets filled up with a backhoe and a bunch of guys coming out to, I like to call it stomping the grapes. They push all the snow down around the edges. Then we take the fencing off, and that's always fun, trying to pry that off of a frozen snowman.
The fire department then helps secure Snow-Me's base.
Then we have the fire department come over and dump about 600 gallons of water on the first layer. We let that freeze overnight, and then the second layer goes on, and then the third layer goes on the second day.
Okay, that is a whole lot of work, but that 40-foot snowman, he's stable and he's impressive.
So this is in my neighboring town, 30 minutes away. And when I was up there, they were doing a story on it. And I was like, man, that'd be cool to see. Well, now I don't have to.
Now, I mean, you get to see it. I mean, maybe not in person, but you get to see it. I mean, that is huge.
It's very big. Isn't there something similar in your town where they make like an ice sculpture?
An ice castle.
An ice castle,
That's
okay.
right, like cut ice cubes out of the lake. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
and that'll stay, I mean, that thing will stay up for months.
Oh, the fact that they said that they build it with the snow and they pack it in and all that other kind of stuff, and then they have the fire department like douse it with water and then let it freeze and then douse it again with water. Yes, and that's a 3-day process of doing that.
Wow. And it'll be up during the 4th of July, so it'll be in time for the parade.
Really? Which is so crazy.
Wow.
I don't know.
Honestly, there has been snow into July, like from big piles.
That's true.
I'm glad we don't have that here.
All right, will we be building a snowman in 10 days? Meh. Don't hold your breath, people. But if it happens, we'll take pictures of it. All right.
All right, if you haven't checked out our 4 to 5 live stream, you're missing out. We talk about things that you don't hear on the news here. It gets a little crazy sometimes. Dance marathon, all kinds of things. We even have an exclusive Facebook group, your Conga Line. That's right, we were doing that. It's called the 4 to 5 Club. Just search for it on Facebook, click join. We will let you in, and we'll be right back.
Right now, many Americans are cutting back on alcohol for dry January. A study published in the British Medical Journal shows people who gave up alcohol for 1 month had significant health improvements and lost an average of 4 pounds. Research also shows people who participate in dry January often continue to drink less 6 to 8 months later. So I asked you on Facebook, what would you have a hard time giving up? What would be hard for you to give up? Chuck Stewart says extremely spicy chicken wings. Yes. Chanel Brent wrote looking at sports on TV. Diane Milton, Klondike ice cream bars. Shamala Boyd, cheese. I feel you there. And then Doug Goodman says Pepsi. Those are some good ones.
Cheese.
Cheese would be
way
tough
up
because
there
I
on my
love
list.
cheese.
Yep.
I would say social media.
Oh, really? Well, I've
Yep.
already given that.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah, I've given that one up before. For me, I would say potatoes because I
Yes.
like chips. I like baked potatoes, mashed potatoes, French fries, any type of potatoes. So that would be pretty
That would
difficult
be
for me
hard.
to give up.
When I do like the keto thing, when I'm trying to do low carb, pasta is so hard for me.
Yes.
And if my wife could make spaghetti, I just look at it like, oh my God. It's so difficult.
It's almost like she makes it more when you're
Just
trying
to
not
test
to
you.
You're right, because the lab been trying this recently, get back on it again. And she did spaghetti one night and chicken Alfredo with cream sauce the night before
Oh,
last.
and that's the best kind.
And she's making it, she's like,
Let's watch this.
If I picked
boy.
a non-food item, I would say watching TV. Like
Okay.
I love watching Netflix. I love watching
Ooh, we're gonna
television,
give up
reality
streaming.
shows. Streaming, that would be difficult
That'd
for
be
me
hard.
because that's what I do in a lot of my pastime is watch television.
What about you? Most difficult, do you think?
it's social media.
Oh,
For
really?
sure.
Over
Yeah,
everything?
I think I probably over everything.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I
Now
think
we know.
I'm just like my job has got me so trained to be on social
It's
media
true.
that I don't think I could break it.
So the first thing you do in the morning is get on Instagram.
The first
The
thing.
first thing you get on the
and last thing at
computer,
night.
you type in F first probably, right? For Facebook? When you go on to the search engine like Google or something, is the first thing you type in
I
F.
just use the app.
Because if he were to go in and just type in F, it would just come right up. For
Yeah.
Facebook first thing, yep, on your
Right.
search. All right, let's get to our forecast here. F for forecast, yes. That's what happens. All right, we're looking at temperatures across the area, still very mild. Hey, Burlington's at 63 degrees right now. So is Winston-Salem. Greensboro 61, High Point 62. Overall, if you go out to a broader scale here, you have to go all the way back to like St. Louis to see anything in the 40s. Even Nashville's at 64. And if you look to the north, isn't that funny? Roanoke 5 degrees rather above where we are at PTI right now. Overnight lows going to 45 tonight, partly cloudy, and then partly sunny tomorrow with a high of 62 degrees. Just to put that into perspective, our normal high is 4 degrees warmer than what our low will be tonight. That's how warm we are. Most of the rain out of here, moving on to the coastal sections right now, and then it will clear us eventually. When we get to Friday, you will think we're going through a cold snap, but we're actually going right back to where we should be. Here's your long-range forecast. Tomorrow, that's a nice day, 62, and decent amount of sunshine eventually. Friday, partly cloudy to mostly sunny, and 50 will hover with scattered clouds for Friday, Saturday, right at 49 degrees for both days. Sunday, we could see a shower or two with the passage of a system. That's a 40% chance. Warm it up to start next week. The work week at 52 on Monday, variably cloudy, partly cloudy Tuesday, and 53. We'll see the overnight lows in the 30s for the most part, and the high 50 on Wednesday. Throw in another rain chance. That's only a 30% chance by middle of next week.
Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Aaron, I forgot to ask you if you told Tim about our toss to him about that video.
Hello, mic check. Yeah, Aaron, I saw that video. If it's a big light.
And an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination.
Hey, thanks Manning for the help today.
Mic check 1, 2, 3. Thomasville Fire Chief Jason Myers commends his crew and says that his department
It's time for my 2 cents. It's the start of a new year. This is the time people start coming up with New Year resolutions and goals they would like to achieve. In 2021, I created my first vision board. Some of my goals were to save more money, go to the gym more, and focus on self-care. There were times I'd fall off on maintaining some of my targets, but having my goals visually displayed on a board helped me to recenter myself and start again. This year, I decided to create a new board. Rather than focusing on the typical resolutions, I wanted to go. For so long, I was told by others I wouldn't be able to work in nudes with braids or twists, that I would need to continue to straighten my hair or wear wigs for a quote-unquote professional look. Last fall, I gained the courage to wear my hair in a natural style on air for the first time. I felt liberated. I like wearing my hair straight, but I love having the autonomy to wear my hair in styles that are unique to my culture and upbringing. Living more freely without feeling contained or put in a box is something I plan to embrace. Daring to dream the impossible and taking leaps of faith to achieve my biggest desires. Knowing my value and never settling for less, even if it requires taking risks. My vision board for 2023 will serve as a constant reminder of my priorities, who I'm working to become, and where I want to be. When setting your goals this year, go beyond the surface and make strides to be the best you can be. You may be surprised at what you will achieve. That's my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
A large building up in flames in Thomasville. 15 different departments had to work together to put it out.
Plus, Rockingham County is making sure it pays off to work on off days. Coming up, find out how the county is addressing staffing shortages in the detention center.
And the rain was a big part of